We stay with this story for a moment. On Monday, some terrorists reportedly bombed the Abuja-Kaduna bound rail. It was learned that an Abuja-Kaduna bound filled with passengers derailed after the improvised explosive device planted by the terrorists, which went off. The terrorists subsequently attacked the train with many passengers reportedly injured. To give further perspective on this developing story, we are joined live by a professor of global security studies, Professor Kunle Olawunmi. He joins us live from Abeokuta for joining us this evening on the news. Just as we begin this conversation, the last week has witnessed an upsurge of attacks by bandits, terrorists. Is this an indication that we're back to the dark days of rising insecurity in the country?
I think this is that I want to wonder when Nigerians go abroad, they become less religious. That's because the governments of UK, United States, Denmark, and so on, they play like God. In other words, they are like omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. The government presence is everywhere. And in Nigeria, it's not the same. We can continue to blame the military, the security services, the president, commander-in-chief. But what happened in Kaduna recently is just reminiscence of what happened at the Nigerian Defense Academy in August last year. The terrorists, we continue to do what they do as long as we don't do the needful. We already drawn a blueprint for incoming president as to how to go about this. Since 2017, we've tried to tell this government what to do in order to micromise the society. Terrorism is not the same thing as when you are fighting a conventional war. A conventional war is certain. It's like an attrition war, a war of attrition. But when you are fighting terrorism, it's a different ballgame altogether. They are here today, they are there tomorrow. So even if you put all the resources of the state in Kaduna now, what the terrorists will just do is to move away to Sokoto. If you put all the resources in Sokoto, they move to Zamfara. So you can't continue to play Tom and Jerry game with terrorists. What you need to do is to micromise the society, is to make society to look like just a dining table where you can see everything that is happening in your country. And the equipment to do this are available. The manpower to man these equipments are available. I think the problem we are having in Kaduna, as we saw yesterday, is just a lack of political will to actually fight this insurgency and the terrorism. It's lack of political will.
You say it's lack of political will, but we understand that NRC says it is suspending operations along the Abuja-Kaduna line. Do you think this is not anything relating to lack of political will? Do you think these can, however, empower bandits to claim more dominance, in the northern part of the country and, just share dominance across the country? Do you think this would do?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what the terrorists like to do. They just want to attract, political attention to themselves. And that is why, binoculars are advised the country to actually tag them terrorists. What they want to do is to attract political attention. Election is coming. The APC just did their convention. The PDP is trying to do their own. These are the boys that were brought in the last election to ensure they win that last election. And some, by and large, they've been abandoned in the bush. So another election is coming and they're seeking attention of the political class to give them money. And you cannot negotiate with these boys except you have to flush them out of the bushes. But the main thing I've always advised the government to do is to go after those people that are sponsoring these boys. If you look at their action, you see that it's political. And somebody somewhere or a group of people are actually telling them what to do, where to go, how to go about it, and providing logistics. In this last attack, they went with buses. They didn't go with Okada, as they usually do. Who provided the buses for them? Where did they go after? And also those people that have taken this as a profession, as kidnapping as a way of living, we have to go after them. Since August that I spoke to this government, they are yet to arrest or prosecute a single terrorist financiers. Why is the government shying away from prosecuting those people that are financing these boys? As long as you allow the financier to sit out in Abuja or Kaduna or Kano enjoying the largesse, this will not stop. Even if you carry the chief of army staff there tomorrow, ask him to live in that place, it's still going to continue.
Round of things, you've made your salient points, but do you perhaps have one or two suggestions that you might want to put on the table to avert such occurrences such as this in nearest future?
Yeah, I think my advice to the government is going to be more strategic policy. There are three issues I've always raised. That's the human development indices. The government has to provide jobs and employment for people. The other one I always try to do is democracy index. The politician will start recruiting. In the next 2 years, they're going to start also bombing places because they have been abandoned. The other one is the issue of corruption, which this government came in to actually fight. If corruption means the resources of Nigeria is 2% of the population. So if you want to solve this problem, you have to look at your human development indices and try to improve on it. Look at your democracy, the way we practice democracy here. Yes, recruiting. Then issue of the corruption in the race on it. Once we do these three things, I think we're going to have, in the long term, a peaceful society.
I think this is a very good place to anchor our conversations with you, Professor Kunle Olawunmi, Professor of Global Security Studies. Many thanks for joining us on the news this evening, Prof. All right,
thank you very much.
Galaxy Television. Move on to other stories.